welcome to ConCarolinas Television. I am one of your hosts, Bronner.
And I'm the other one, Ray.
That's right.
And Ray.
And we have some very special guests with us tonight. Who do we got with us tonight there, Rachel?
We've got two gentlemen who bring a lot to the table. Ha.
Yeah.
You see what I did there? Let's go with the guy with the longest beard. Longest beard. But who are you?
My name is Scott Jaworski. I am a local board game guy. Just kind of fell into this group late last year, early this year, something like that.
Yeah.
Been doing board games since 2014, and it's just kind of the thing I do. So I'm happy to talk about it whenever.
Yeah, and he actually does demos and stuff professionally for companies.
He's being very modest.
And yeah, he's being very modest. So he has an amazing amount of knowledge. Who else we got today?
Shorter beard. Give us the spiel.
Oh, it's a beard, real beard.
Awesome. You're a real boy.
You're a real boy. David Steelman, local guy. My brother got me into the hobby years ago before he even moved to town, and I've been losing to Bronner for years now. I don't know what secret. I'm just here. I'm here to bask in the greatness that it is.
Hi, Bates and John and Sean and Shannon and cosplayer. Hey.
Hi guys. Hi everybody in the chat.
And everybody who didn't say hi.
Right.
But I see you.
Well, we see you.
I see you.
All right. So today we are talking about. This is not your same old board game.
Not anymore. It's
with
not.
The emphasis of board. Like old school board games like Sorry and Monopoly. I mean, a lot of those, even Risk.
Classics.
But they're very passé now as far as the intricacies and really the complexities of games in today's world. I get confused by them, and I find myself to be a little bit game savvy, but that's why we got Scott and David here, because they're both bona fide experts. They both run games at many conventions and whatnot. So without further ado, this is what's going to happen on today's show. What's going to happen, Ray? I did touch your foot. Sorry. I apologize. I'm glad I'm your husband.
Children's show.
My kids are in the stream, y'all.
So today, what we're going to do for you guys is we're going to go over our top 5. Not necessarily top 5, but I would say probably like a solid 5. Because there's lots of games out there and there's a lot of options. And for somebody that's been playing since 2014, I'm sure Scott was like, crap, how do I do this?
Right. It's hard.
I couldn't do it. And I haven't been playing that long. So
there. That's funny.
Okay,
so the question was posed like, so if you were on a desert island, what 5 games would you bring? If you could only play 5 games for the rest of your life, which ones would they be, kind of thing? And then I got like questions like, well, who am I going to play with if I'm on a deserted island? Okay, this is the mind of...
This is the gamer.
A gamer.
Kind of game system.
Right.
Yes.
All right, so yeah. So let's just assume they're either bots or other intelligent life form on the island to play with you.
Right.
So we're going to go around the horn.
We're all playing solitaire.
Right. We're going to go Scott. We're going to go David, Bronner. Then Ray will close out, and we'll just go like our 5th, and then our 4th, and then so on and so forth. And then if you have something in the chat that you would like, maybe we didn't cover, or you're enthusiastic about, or want to know where to find it, Game Realm, right here in Salisbury.
I'm enthusiastic about everything, so let's get this party started.
All right, so without further ado, this is Scott Jaworski.
Hi.
And he is going to give us number 5.
So my number 5. Not sure how many brown coats we have, Firefly fans. There is a Firefly board game out there, and my number 5 is the game that should have been. The Firefly game ultimately kind of falls apart. This one is called Zaya, Legends of a Drift System, and
Sean has
it is about becoming the most famous pilot. So you start with a basic ship and 3,000 credits, and try to become the most famous pilot in the game. Or is the image up? I'm not sure if I'm seeing. Okay.
Uh-oh. We just lost David.
We just lost
I
David. Okay.
moved my notes.
So several cool things about this. So there are, I gotta move my notes here. There are probably 30 of these ships in the game, and they're all unique. So everybody has a different one with a different ability, and it comes with its own card. So like
Show the ship again. Yeah,
Yep.
there you go.
So this is the mini for this ship. And as you can see, it has a different layout of all the stuff you put in it. That's where you have your cargo. That's where you place your, let's see if I can do this. That's where you place your engine. So you're limited on space that you can use, depending on like if you want a really powerful engine, then you don't have as much room for a laser, for example. So that's the first part of it, is you're customizing your ship, buying bigger ships that have more cargo, and then all of those ships also have special abilities.
You had me at Firefly.
Yep, it really is like
Firefly.
it really is the find a job, make credits, keep flying. Like it doesn't have the people part of Firefly, which
Does
is
it have reavers?
it has neutral ships that are trying to find people. You can
Which
become
have reavers in it.
yeah,
right?
you can be a pirate and hunt other players. You
I
can
wanna be
just
a
go
reaver.
on missions. There are planets that are friendly to criminals, so the criminals can go there, but the regular people
It
can't.
takes too long.
It is a long game.
Is it?
It is a long game. The box says 3 hours.
I
Well,
don't
you're
have
on a
the
desert
attention
island,
Right,
so what
exactly.
else you got to freaking
Exactly.
do?
It is
Even though
one
a
of those.
desert island, I don't have that attention span.
I
Well,
do.
well, see,
really good.
that's the thing though, is that it constantly keeps moving. The turns, as long as everybody knows what they're doing, the turns go fast. So it's
Right.
a long game, but you basically have four
the
actions.
pace is there.
You have
like,
4 actions every turn, and you do those 4 actions, and then it's the next person's turn.
All right.
So it moves pretty quick.
And it's
Hi,
just
Captain.
And there's space
Hello,
cops.
Captain.
There's space cops. There's space
It's just a Firefly.
cargo plane. It is Firefly without the license.
All right, cool.
So yeah, like I said, it's a neat marriage of mechanics and theme. You feel like a captain. You feel like you're out there exploring. As you get to the edges of space, more sectors come available, so you see what's out there.
We might have to show up early to game night.
So
Right.
yeah,
And
it's
give that a shot.
the drawback to it is it was a Kickstarter game. Amazon gets print runs of it fairly regularly, and it's expensive. It's like $85.
Yeah.
So I thought about also if I could just put all these in the same box, I could build a boat and leave the island.
Right. You'll have enough pieces.
So yeah, so that's my 5 is Zaya Legends of the Drift
All
System.
right. I just want to make it perfectly clear that if you really want a game and if it's available through one of Ray's distributors
Oh
at,
sure,
at the Comic Monsters Game Realm, we can
Why,
hook
thank
you up
Captain.
for sure.
sure.
And all right, David.
All right, starting at number 5.
I forgot the middle.
I'm a fairly simple guy.
Right.
Oh, show the coins. Just show.
Oh yeah, so
Just,
it also
Show
has
the coins.
custom metal coins
We
Uh,
love
that-
coins.
that
I
are
like the sound of it.
yeah.
they also make great guitar picks.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I,
All right, sorry.
I had that right here to show, and I
Worth
totally
it.
forgot.
Mine, I'll keep
Awesome.
it simple. I start out with Jaipur. Jaipur is the only 2-player game I have on my list, but it is a solid little market game. I tend to gravitate towards games that are easy to teach, but also really do one mechanic super well.
Huh.
I will break that when I get down to number 1. It's got good components, got good cardboard little tokens. The cards are nice, sets up well. Even the apps are wonderful. It's really, you take one thing on your turn. You can either take cards or you can sell cards. You take cards, then what you do is you're going to take one out of the middle and keep it, or you can take as many as you want, but you have to exchange ones out of your hand for it. So it's kind of a hand allocation. It's got a lot of nice setups for it. They have diamond, gold, silver, as well as cloth, spice, and leather. So you're kind of getting a lot of this kind of Middle Eastern market feel to it, as well as camels. If you want camels, you take them all. It works as a tiebreaker. You play the end of the round. Person has the most gets the token. Best 2 out of 3 rounds is the winner. It's super small. It's nice. It's cute. It's
Goes
tidy.
fast.
It is.
Let's see what the
30
cards
minutes.
look like.
Cards look like they're nice. The cards have art from corner to corner. So they actually have, you have the leathers, you have the diamonds and the silvers. I'm just barely out of focus. Sorry,
Oh.
Megan.
Yeah, that's good.
And of course, you have just stacks and stacks of tokens.
We love tokens. Are they cardboard?
Tokens. These are cardboard. I've never
Yeah.
bothered updating them to anything else.
I wonder if they sell updates for.
There is a larger, newer version.
Okay, that's
Never
what I
knew.
figured.
But when the whole box is this big,
Yeah, that's great.
for us dudes that like cargo pants,
Right? Cargo pants or your little like go bags, like if you're going somewhere.
So
quick little go bag.
Just that kind of brings up a point.
Sean, come this way.
If your background for board games is Monopoly and Risk and Sorry and stuff, there's a world of games out there that are specifically made for 2 players. So you're playing your opponent as much as you're playing the game. So yeah, your Monopoly plays 2 players, sure. But like these are meant to be, they are only 2-player games.
Head-to-heads.
You are, like I said, you're playing your opponent more than you're playing the game. So
Right.
they're great couple activities. Anyway, sorry.
Jaipur.
All right, so
Yeah.
Jaipur. So my number 5 is a very complex game. It's way on the other end of the spectrum. It is Pathfinder. It's an adventure card game, but it plays like a board game. And although I've only played the basic starter and maybe a little bit of the second kind of storyline that's going on with it, it's very well put together. It's got excellent mechanics. It's got wonderful cards. And I love it. And I'm a big Pathfinder role-playing fan. And this is just the right niche for, if you had that hankering for a one-shot or something, this is a really good
Game for it, yeah.
a good game to play. And we've played it, in about 5 hours to completion. And it's a hard game to win.
These are free Saturday games.
Yeah.
Not free anymore.
Like 5
But
hours.
we had 5 hours, but we played it on the game night. But we started earlier.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, that's not meant as a bad thing. It's just these.
But yeah, that's mine. So we'll. What do you got to say there, beautiful?
What do I have to say? So my games generally tend to lean towards like the more simple.
I'm sorry.
No.
They lean towards me?
No. I think it has a lot to do with just my background and what I grew up with. And we weren't very big on board games. So board games is something I've gotten into a lot more recently. So, as I get more and more into it, I can handle a little more complicated stuff. Not that I'm special or anything like that.
She's very smart.
But I like the simplicity of them. And one of my favorite games is probably the most simple, and that's Love Letters.
Great game.
Yep.
It is such a fantastic game. And I kind of equate it to, like, I don't know, a cute version of playing the game BS. Because you kind of got to work out, who's got what. There's luck involved. The object of the game is you're trying to get your love letter to the princess. And each of the cards has, a value that puts them closer to the princess. You obviously want to be as close to the princess as possible.
How big is that game?
It's like this big.
It's not even that
It's a
big.
stack of cards.
It is 6. The whole game is 16
cards.
cards, right? That was the point I was trying to get across. It is minute.
It is
It's
tiny.
so
It is 2
small,
to 4
but
players.
It plays big.
But
Sorry.
the thought process, yes, it does have a cute pouch, Sean. It's a very cute pouch.
I have 3 versions in one pouch. That's how small it is.
That's a big pouch.
No, it's one of their.
You have the
pouches.
Batman version?
The Batman, the
Yes!
Adventure Time, and the classic one in the same pouch. They're so small.
But
Marvel had to go to another one.
for being so simple, you have to rely on your brain. You have to rely on thinking. You have to, follow through your actions because each of the cards has an action that's going to be performed when you discard it.
Yeah.
So it, for being so simple, it packs a big punch.
That's on my honorable mention list. I was thinking about it. I was thinking because it has elimination, but you're only out for like a minute before the next round starts.
Yeah, that's
It's
I
so
love that.
quick.
You can
Come
play
right
it
back in.
50 times in a row
Right.
and not be bored.
All right, and number 4.
Number 4, I'm going to get y'all's attention. Beer and gold.
Gold?
Right on?
Wonderful things.
Wonderful things, right?
Frenchie, let's do
So
this.
my number 4 is a game called Vikings Gone Wild.
And Vikings?
And Vikings, yes, and
Vikings.
Vikings.
Do we have a bear?
Show
in the
it.
chat?
Which you
Show us your horns.
It is a deck building game, which, for those not familiar, everybody starts with a similar hand of cards, and over time you improve those cards to ultimately get points and do stuff. So in this one, you are using gold and Vikings to build buildings that stay on the board between rounds, and you are using beer to recruit more Vikings, and which is super thematic.
That
so
sounds legit.
So yeah, you can for real. One of the cards you can get is just beer mugs, and it just gives you more beer. I don't know how to.
I'd have a Stein.
Yeah.
Or two.
And then there are things like Odin's boon. So you're building out a kind of base. You can build breweries. I'm not trying to go on the beer thing here, but also ships that give you special abilities
that carry the beer.
So yeah, it's you have to interact with other players. Again, just kind of why I like it. You're building your little thing, but the point of the game is to go wreck the other players' things.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So you're not just sitting in your little, I'm waiting for my turn. Like you care what the other players are doing.
Love for demo.
I'm sorry.
I love to demolition.
Yeah,
yes.
I like to wreck things.
Great.
So yeah, that's my number 4. Vikings Gone Wild.
Vikings Gone Wild.
Love it.
And we'll publish a list in ConCarolinas Facebook page. So we'll publish a list.
Vikings. You had me at Vikings.
Yeah.
You had me at Vikings.
You had me at
Vikings and Pirates.
better
There
than
was
Girl
gold, there was beer, and there's Vikings.
Yeah, I thought I could get you all with that. Winner.
number 4.
Chicken dinner.
All right, so going away from the simplicity of things, because I do like the purity of it, Project Elite. I did not bring this one. We'll throw a graphic up here. And Project Elite is this massive box. I mean, it's the size of like Gloomhaven, and only a crazy person would bring something like that. And so, Project Elite is published by Simon, so already it's got tons of great minis. It's billed actually as soldiers fight together against waves of terrifying aliens in real time.
Starship Trooper?
It's basically 2 minutes of hectic dice chucking on the player's turn with tons of chaos imbued minis swarming up the board. On the monster's turn, you roll, you run, you kill or be killed. It's co-op mayhem. It's wonderful. It even comes with an app that has a 2-minute timer, and it plays the spooky music that makes your nerves go on edge. And when you're rolling, so like a lot of dice rolling games, you're rolling, picking up, rolling again, trying to match certain recipes on your weapons. You do that, you get to fire off the weapons, kill more monsters. If you roll a monster symbol, you're going to either move one up or try to unlock it by rolling on the dice. Eventually, sometimes you have to, and you just look across people and go, I'm sorry, I'm attacking you with the monsters, and you move the person on anyway. It's wonderful. It's just got tons of plastic in it.
It sounds like there's a lot going on.
It's not for a calm evening. Well, you have your person, but we're all taking turns at the same time, or all moving things up. I'm sorry, you're constantly sorry.
Throughout the same time, are you taking turns?
No. It is 2 minutes. Everyone is rolling simultaneously.
Taking turns at
It
the
is
same time.
it is mayhem.
Yes.
Chaos. It is wonderful.
Yes.
Oh, I don't do chaos.
I love it. I love it.
You do beer and gold and Vikings, but not chaos?
Oh no.
Yes,
All
because
the
there's a
real-time
structure to
games,
that.
that is
All
the
right.
best. What you
Gold
got?
buys beer,
Ron?
beers buy Vikings. There's a structure.
Right. Okay. So,
Fair enough.
my next game is, of course, a classic, and you can pretty much find it everywhere. But I would venture to say that Comic Monsters Game Realm, or the Comic Monster, will have a copy, and then you can go to the Game Realm and play it. Here in Salisbury, North Carolina. But it's Codenames, and I love this game. We play it a lot. We play it a lot either as a filler kind of game at the Game Realm when we're doing our game nights, or when there's a big group of us and we want to play teams versus teams. It's really a cool game, and it sets up where you're a master spy and you are trying to give clues that will match the cards that are laid out in the greatest number. So they're able to guess the greatest number of cards.
Word association. But if you guess your opponent's cards, the opposing team, then you lose the round, gets turned over to them, and you don't get any points, right?
No.
And then if you pick the assassin, you're done.
Game over, you lose.
So game over. So it's difficult to be the spy master because you got to be very, very creative. I'm not the best spy master in the world.
No, but
Although
you're
the
fun to
last
struggle.
game we played, didn't you get like
Yeah, he busted out. He busted out with 5, 4. Game was over.
Yeah, I
Okay,
busted out. Yeah, we run it in like 2 rounds. It was awesome. It was 3 rounds.
But that was after we lost on the second round.
Yeah, because we had the assassin. Yeah,
Right.
But we came back with a vengeance.
So-
Raw.
So question. I got a question for the
Yeah.
chat. Just because I remember
Chat.
this. I remember this. If you hear the word knight, Knight, do you associate that with the word Templar? Yes or no?
Why is this important?
Because
He's
Templar
so
was the assassin.
salty.
That was the game. And you were salty about it, going, that's not a thing. Knights
Because
Templar is a
you
thing.
know why though? It's because I thought it said Templar.
Yes.
That's
It's a
what he
temple.
said.
No, Templar was the first game. And that was the assassin word. Temple was in the second game.
Then I thought it was Temple and not Templar.
Fair enough.
So
Fair enough. You're
It
right.
was
Doesn't
one of
matter.
it was
Doesn't
one.
matter.
There was reasoning behind my madness.
It was fun.
Oh yeah, no, it's always.
But I had
blast.
to come back and redeem
It is-
myself.
it is
in the
always
Yes,
first
fun.
idea.
and immediately afterwards it was the 5.
Right.
You only need 9 points to win.
It's
So,
great when you can laugh at your own team.
Right.
Sure.
Ray.
Yep.
All right.
Sorry.
Let's go. Lightning.
lightning round.
Not yet.
Oh,
They're
okay.
close. Go fast.
Are we that
All
far
right.
behind?
Well,
We're half hour in.
my number 4 is
Really quick.
Splendor, and I wanted to put this game
What?
higher up. Yes, it's number 4. The only reason I don't put this game higher up is because I lose to Bronner every single time. Okay, every time. I've never won a game of Splendor.
Let's ask David who he loses to.
Shh, lightning round.
Ray and Bronner.
Never
Who do you lose
won a
to?
game of
Yes.
Splendor, but it is such a great game. It is one of those games where you're drawing cards, you have jewels, and you're making purchases. You're purchasing your points basically, and the first person to reach a certain amount of points wins. But it is one of those games where you definitely have to have a sharp mind. Like you can't play on a day where you're just like, I'm
Yeah, you
not
gotta be
thinking
with
about
it. You gotta be together.
You really got to be looking, because on top of you trying to get those points, other people are also getting the same points that you are. So there's some strategy involved in that. And it would go higher up if maybe one day I would win the game. I don't know. But it's great. It's great.
It would
Dude,
climb the
okay,
charts.
think about it. The fact that I've never won the game and it still made the list, that tells you something.
Especially that.
Especially as
Kinda
competitive as I am.
Exactly.
So moving on to number
What
3.
the hell is going on?
We're not
here?
going to
Number 3.
discuss my competitive nature.
Wait. All right. Number
Number
3,
I'll go quick.
Mr.
We're running out of
Dowatski.
I'll go quick. I don't have a visual aid for this one. Hansa to Tonica is beige, the board game. You look at it, the board looks completely drab. You're just putting cubes, you're moving cubes from your board to the board in front of you. But the player interaction, you're ultimately trying to claim routes of yours. But for someone to move in your way, they have to pay extra and you get more stuff for getting kicked out of the spot. So they're okay.
Not you, John.
Oh,
Chat.
Okay,
Chat.
Other
sorry.
John.
Other John. Okay.
You're good.
So they just released a big box of it that has expansions included. Again, it's just a brain burning puzzle where you're playing your opponents with the game. You're playing off your opponents and trying to stop them. And yeah, anyway, on to Tonica. I'm gonna move on quick.
What's playtime?
I mean, it's
But once you get to know it, 30 minutes. It
Nice.
goes quick. Like, it's-
Nice.
it's always nice to know that you can measure the success of a game by if they're going to come out with expansions.
Yeah.
And I mean, some crappy games have expansions, but for the most part, if it's going to get an expansion, that means it's doing well. And if it's doing well, that means it's probably plays really well mechanically. And
So I mean, you can look at the box art. I think that Sean shared a minute ago. It's just this really guy sitting in front of a desk. The other, go back one, Sean. That's not it. Yeah, this little dude in the red is just. It just looks like math, the board game. I promise it's better than that.
All
Anyway,
right.
I said it was real quick. Move on.
All right. Keeping it simple, keeping it small.
What?
For sale.
For
What are we
sale.
selling?
What?
Sell
For
it to
sale.
me.
All right.
Sell it to us.
There's a handful of auction games that I like. This is to me, fun and pure as it gets. You start out with, there's basically two halves of the game. The first half of the game, you're buying open bidding with, you get a number of money at the beginning, and you're buying the cards that come out. So you flip out cards for everyone that's in, one for every player, and then they might be something as small as the number one, which is a cardboard box, the outhouse,
Oh, this is real estate.
which I'm sorry, as a
Manhole.
Ninja Turtle fan, I don't think that's that bad. Up to the doghouse, number 4, they go all the way
Where I'm
up
always
to
at.
29, which is the big skyscraper,
Ooh.
and 30 is the space station. So these are all valuable for the second half of the game. You're open bidding, trying to run each other out. The first person who pays the most buys it, then everyone else can buy down with what's left. After that, the second half of the game is now you have those are now your tokens. Money is only tiebreaker at the end. And then there are face down these different checks. They might be something as simple as $7,000, 8. Oh no, this was only 2,000. And once again, we're flipping out 4 of them, known, 11. They're of different values, and you are going to take. Now that you see the ones out there, you have the cards in your hand of the different values, the 30 to 1, and you're trying to figure out which one will win you the most. And you all put it out there. Simultaneous flip over. That's it. At the end of the game, you count your money up based on these cards. You're done.
I'd like to play that
Quick,
sometime.
yeah.
That sounds good.
Kind of like a
20, 30 minutes. Done.
just go.
I like it. All right, so let's talk about, what number are we on right now?
We are on number
3?
3.
All right, so my number 3 is also Splendor, because I beat everybody I played except for Ray, and it used to be somebody else that I didn't play, Dylan. Dylan used to win all the time, and I don't know.
It
See,
doesn't come around anymore.
I know.
I smell foul play.
Right? I had to take him out because he was winning all the Splendor games, right?
Right?
But I love it. I've never won by. If you look at the graphic there, I don't know if it's up right now, but there are the people that you can save your cards to and buy. Aristocrats, are they called?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you can buy those guys. I've never won. I mean that way before. I always win by reaching the point total.
Nickel and diamond.
Natural. No, I like going after big cards, but it's a money-making sense game to me. It's like, there's value in every card, except for the ones that are very, very expensive. And then those are the ones you leave behind, or prevent other people from getting, if they're just too expensive, And then also it can be very dirty, where you can purposefully collect and save cards that somebody else is going after, ruining their entire strategy.
That's called hate drafting.
It is hate drafting.
I love
And
it.
And I love to do it. But that again is my take on Splendor, and I love it. It's a great resource game, and there's every game has kind of like a nuance to it, whether it's collecting resources or farming or doing whatever. But only the people that are experts like Scott and David know the technical terms.
I will say,
Scott,
I will say, Sean, if you've never played Splendor, that's a game I think you would like.
Yeah, you'd be good at it.
Just the way your mind works, I think you'd be really good at it. I think you'd
Still play Runner.
Just don't play Bronner. If you want to hate me, play me.
Games are supposed to be fun, y'all.
Sean will bring it someday.
Yeah, we'll bring it. I have Marvel Splendor.
There are different versions of Splendor. There's Marvel. There's
Also, there were
expansions. Makes you new.
Yeah.
Not
I think I have
expansions,
Marvel
but
Code
just
Names
different
too.
versions. All right, so
Or picture code names.
oddly enough, little running theme here that there's so many crossovers. My number 3 is Codenames. My number 3 is Codenames.
Wait, which was against 3 words?
3 words.
No, Codenames 3. No. And I love Codenames just for what it is. I think there's a lot of correlation to Cards Against Humanity as far as, trying to interpret the way somebody thinks. But I feel like Codenames takes it to another level. So where Cards Against Humanity starts to get stale after a while, you've been playing it. Codenames I've never gotten bored with.
Never.
because there's so many different aspects involved, and you're playing as a team, and
People
There's-
think differently.
other people think differently, and you have to play the players.
Yeah.
While there are still, objectives on the board, I have got to play what I think Scott's going to think of,
Right.
So I feel like it takes that aspect to a different level, and I think that's why it's definitely above Splendor. That's for sure.
All right.
Since I'm the odd man out here because all mine are these like super complicated
Super
2-hour-long things.
complicated,
You're like,
yeah.
Codename, Splendor. Like, I just didn't think about this.
Oh, I told you guys from the beginning, I love the symbol.
Yeah, sure.
I totally
So my number
love
2
symbols.
is a game called Orleans. It's another deck builder, but you're building with a bag. You're collecting these little workers, those little circles there you see. You all start with the same 4 workers, and you're putting those workers on your little board to activate actions. So like farming will need a farmer and a worker. So you have to have those 2 guys to be able to farm. And you're competing for actions on the main board once you've all kind of built your thing. So you can get spaces that let you automate future spaces, build new places that only you can go to, gain multiplier for in-game score, gain passive money, make somebody have to pay money every turn. You don't have time to do it all. So it's one of those things where the decision space is just really interesting to me. Like you can't go hard on one strategy because then you fill your bag with that one worker type, and
Right.
you can't. Nothing does the same.
There's got to
worker.
be balance.
Right. So you have to do a little bit of everything. The setup can be randomized, so it's different every time. Your strategy you use last game doesn't necessarily work this game, based on what's out in front of you. It's another longer one, of course. I'm sorry. These are Desert Island games. I have all the time in the world, right? So it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
Right.
Desert Island.
Yeah.
And I'm playing love letters.
Right.
You know?
Right. I'm gonna play a lot.
800 times
So,
in
yeah,
a row.
Orleans is one of the few
Oils.
games I've never played that just gets my favorite reviewers always go to that.
So
It is just it has.
it was the first game I kind of fell in love with, and it's only fallen very little since I got it. It's so
I love it when that happens.
so good.
Yeah.
When you can't find a better game.
Right. I found a couple since then, but not
I
many.
know, that's
Right.
my number 1.
Well, my number 2, right?
Number 2.
Is nice. One of the things I like about it is the fact that it has just such a small little rule book. That's it.
No
Looks
complication.
familiar.
It also has these
What is?
great play tokens. They're wonderful. It even has nice artwork on the box. It looks like this.
There's
This
a
is
running
Splendor.
theme here. There's some crossover. Do we play board games together?
Well,
Is
this
that
what
what
you're
happens?
saying. I like a lot of these engine builders. I love
Mhm.
deck builders. Engine builders are very similar to that. This just edged out Century Spice Roads because my wife loves this so much that it's just kind of near and dear. It's one of those things that really kind of got her into it playing. The cards look magnificent. There's so simple
Great
iconography
quality.
on all of it.
Yeah.
They look wonderful. They're stacked. The box is a great display for it. I have one as long as Chris is not playing. I tied once. And a friend of mine, Josh, if you're out there, thanks for letting me win. I won tiebreaker with you. He and I play like very aggressive, like how big of an engine can we build?
Can we?
Chris wins with like 12 cards.
Yeah.
I got 15 points. I'm done.
Do you want to play for money sometime?
This is a kid's show. We don't gamble.
But this
Oh.
is a great one to take to conventions and teach. It teaches in 5 minutes and it plays just
Yeah.
about as quick.
Yeah, that's an interesting point since we're kind of like in the little over midway point of the show. Yeah, these guys actually have both taught at ConCarolinas and the gaming, so they will be
You're right, Sean.
most
Right.
likely part and active in that type of environment, and they're both superb teachers.
Yeah.
I've learned so many games from each of them. In fact, I think David actually taught me how to play Splendor and taught me how to beat them.
Worst thing I ever did.
Honestly, though, for those of you in the chat, if you are local or semi-local to
Come
Salisbury,
on.
Tuesday nights, generally at 6:00 at the Comic Mon store in Salisbury, is just our game night. Like, at least one of us, if not all of us, and some more people are generally there, and we just pick a board game and play.
And
And
teach whatever we're gonna play. There's
Scott's
no-
basically
there's no-
played about everything, so if you don't know how to play, he's a professional instructor. We got you. Hi,
Hey, Jay.
Jay. You right. We giggle every time we go live. We did that before we went live.
All right, it's down to my number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2. All right, so this game, Fight Fans, has nothing to do with fighting, but it is called Mysterium, and it is a super fun and exciting and just, I don't know, it's like Clue. You know how you got when you played Clue and then you played something better than Clue? This is that game. It covers everything. It really is next level Clue. I mean, let's just be fair.
It's like Clue on steroids.
Yeah.
It's like Clue meets Dixit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just Clue ramped up and adultified, and is that a word?
Sure.
All
Just
right.
now.
Adultified. You heard it first here on ConCarolinas television. I have a school teacher here on the panel, and I didn't get corrected. All right. So, but I shall probably get the yardstick later, maybe. But in any case, Mysterium, beautiful artwork, excellent components. A little confusing on the artwork thing, but once you kind of you tie into or you key into the ghost, because the ghost is what is trying to give you subtle clues to who was the murderer. So yeah, and so the ghost is doing all the work. So there's one person that's controlling a lot of the aspects of the game by handing out cards and issuing clues that can better help you. So
and it's completely co-op. That's one thing. That's the only thing that really breaks from clues is you're not trying to beat your buddies to it. You're actually looking at their cards and you're collaborating with them across the table.
Right.
And the ghost is the only person that can help you. You can't tell you it's a good, bad, or indifferent. And sometimes as a ghost, they go the other way.
It's very hard to be the ghost, and I commend them.
Some of that code name stuff where you're playing the player, you got to think about how they would see it.
I've definitely tried to be the ghost, and I'm not very good at it. But Ray Franks, the owner of the Comic Monster, amazing ghost.
He's almost a professional ghost.
It's a weird sentence.
Yeah, he should be. he should really look into that. I wonder if there's a career.
And like some of these games, it looks marvelous on the table. It's just magnificent. It can be a little long for times, like some of the times we play at the Monster, we don't get one game in a night.
Yeah.
They do make a Mysterium Parks, which is a slightly scaled. It gets a lot of the itch of it, slightly scaled down. Doesn't look quite as beautiful on the board, but it gets a lot of that in a shorter time. If that's also a part of the problem you have.
Yeah. So if you got a little time, play Mysterium. If you don't, then play Parks.
Okay. My number 2.
Number 2.
My number 2. It's a very special game. This game is the Dungeons and Dragons game, board game. Not the role play game, but the board game.
One of the board games.
One of. And it happens to be the very specific Forgotten Realms one, The Legends of Dritz. And that one is, on top of being a fantastic play, it's Dritz. That's my character. That's my dude. Okay. I have read 27 of the Dritz books.
Pages?
Yeah, about 5 more than me.
27-ish. I'm only a little bit behind, but I fell in love with that character years ago.
All the
and
characters.
to be able, all the characters, and to be able to play that game, it's just great. The artwork is beautiful. It's the board lays out, and it's rooms set up, and you're moving rooms, and you're fighting some of the monsters.
It's tile based, and it's beautiful minis.
Oh, the miniatures are gorgeous. I'm not even gonna lie. But it's nostalgic, and it's just a great game to play. So that's my number 2. All right, guys, we have gotten to number 1. You ready for this?
Wow, that
was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't teach music.
Must
All right,
be a
Scott.
musician.
Lay it on us. What's
All
your
right,
number one?
So we've gone from spaceships to beer and
back again?
and gold and back again to beige and back again.
Good trip.
My number one is a game called Spirit Island, with neat little guys like these. Yep, there's one right there. So in Spirit Island, you rather than trying to invade something, you play spirits who have been woken up by colonists trying to invade your land, and you don't want them there anymore. So over the course of the game, you are waking up and scaring these colonists, or tearing down a building here and there, or sending the Aborigines after them. So things start out where you're playing cards like Asphyxiating Smoke and Overgrown in a Night. And as you grow and get more powers, you're playing things like The Land Thrashes in Furious Pain, and The Trees and Stones Speak of Law. So like earth-shattering things. It's all co-op. It's fully co-op. And I there's not many on this list, but I really do enjoy co-op games. And I like that there's no way to alpha game this. There's so much going on the board that I can't just go, David, you do that. Chris, you do that. Ray, you do that. There's too much information to parse it all. And that being said, it was up on the screen a minute ago. There is a rules light version coming out in October called Horizon of Spirit Island that is fully compatible with the main game with this, but it's meant to be kind of an introductory version. So it's not as overwhelming.
So it's like Park.
Yeah, Mysterium Parks. Yes. It's my first Spirit Island.
Yeah.
So Spirit Island,
Spirit Park.
great game. Great game.
All right.
Spirit Island.
And it's really popular on the solo.
It is a very good solo game.
Very
If you
good
do that.
solo game. All my solo board, yeah. I'm in a lot of solo ones on Facebook and whatnot. And that comes up all the time. That is super popular too. Huh. Excellent.
All right, Dave.
I can see
What's your numero uno?
All right, this one, I'm going away from all the simples. This one is Champions of Midgard. The thing is huge. The box itself is not terrible, but it is. I used to be a big fan of like Lords of Waterdeep. This is like this has been called Lords of Waterdeep with theme. Instead of just using your stuff to buy things on the board and move your stuff around as a worker placement with a very large board. In this case, not only are you doing that, but you're getting the resources so you can take your dudes, which you have your little meeples, plenty of little meeples, cute little guys you put around the board to do stuff, but use them to get the dice. And they have customized dice with all different types of faces on it. So I can get it focused in there. These dice are great. So you have different swords, shields, axes, and you have each person has a player character. And you have only but so many dice, or these are your warriors or tribesmen, and you are a Viking lord. You're sitting them out, a Viking king, and you're going around trying to get the things, but also around the edges of the top, you have trolls, you have draggards, and as you fight these things, you're moving your VP marker around the board. It's traipsing ahead, getting ahead of things, but you're also picking up these secret destiny cards that would be some in-game extra points that you may see like, oh man, Chris is getting ahead of me, but he doesn't know. And it's magnificent. You're sitting your people out, knowing good and well those dice are mostly not coming back, but they're on to Valhalla. And I don't even have there's an expansion for Valhalla that once they go out, you can actually play them back in. But frankly, just like any other worker placement, you're going out, you're getting more, and you're trying to figure out the balance of them. I mean, the board itself is
Holy cow.
Well, that's nice.
That's like the size of me.
Yeah. And then once you get your people built up enough, you can actually go out and take ships, buy ships, and go sail across the seas to the monsters, which are normally unknown. You flip it over, you may not send enough warriors unless you have the oracle that lets you peek at one of the cards. It's so many elements. Just roll them one. It's number one.
We all know how we feel about Vikings. So somebody let Bear
You
know
said
he's
Vikings.
missing the Vikings. He's missing Vikings.
He's missing
Right? Missing out.
All right, Bronner, kick
All
it off. What's
here we
your
go.
number one?
So, David's referred to this guy, Chris, who really is a game master. But, he's talking about me. But my favorite game happens to be Mansions of Madness. I love this game. I mean, I love anything that's H.P. Lovecraft themed. I mean,
Creepy,
it's just
spooky.
it's
Yep.
just kind of my gig. I love anything, even like the Pandemic game. I'll play the Cthulhu version before I play any other version. I have him on my arm. He's right there. He's a beautiful guy. He's an old one, like me. But anyway, the game is beautiful. The setup is beautiful. The boards are beautiful. The companion, there is a companion app on that you should use most definitely.
Every single time. Not
a
most
tablet,
every time.
yeah.
Every single time.
Well, you have to use it because it's
Your
in
desert island
that,
has
in that
Wi-Fi?
edition. The first edition you didn't have it, but this edition you do. But yeah, use a real full size good tablet, and it's engaging and it's well acted and it's well illustrated. It's very spooky and creepy. It is a great game. Period. I mean, there's and it's hard, super hard. I don't know that.
Have you ever won?
I've won one time.
One time.
Show off. It's Bronner.
Right. Of course.
I cheated. No. You can never cheat when there's people like David around, or Ray.
I haven't won this one.
Oh yeah, Eagle Eye here. But that's my number one. Mansions of Madness, Fantasy Flight game. So it's got way too many pieces.
That's that Fantasy Flight thing.
But it's very cool game. So if you haven't played it, come on down to the Comic Monsters Game Realm on Tuesday nights, and we will play. Mansions
That was the
of
one night I
Madness.
missed. I really wanted to try them.
You know where we learned this game is that we were just. I think I might have been at the Monster role
Was
playing.
it with Billy?
I was role playing.
Billy hated this.
And no, it wasn't with Billy, but I think you might have been there, David. Ray just had asked us if we wanted to come by on a Saturday and play test this game, and we did. And I think the winner got a gift card, and I don't know who won that game. So if it's money or store credit or anything, I'm down. But yeah, anyway, that's my game. Thank you. It's not the.
They're
What
just
was it?
tokens. They're
Indian
play
reservation.
tokens.
Okay, they're play tokens.
Yeah, they're play.
All right, so y'all are gonna moan and groan, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my god."
Is this like an anticlimactic portion
Monopoly.
of the
Monopoly.
show?
Anticlimactic.
I think I will Monopoly, folks.
So, I started this thing off saying that I definitely was not a big board game person growing up. We didn't do games, card games, really, because, card games are easy. You use the same deck of cards, play 40 different games, right? But the one game that I have, and to be honest with you, even as an adult, that I have not found to be any better is Candyland. And it's
really.
not.
You're not allowed
Think
to
you
do
broke
that
it?
on
You're not
the studio.
serious.
I am. I
He
am
fell
serious.
to the ground. Someone check to see if Dave's okay.
Listen, you tell a group of people you're
He's
playing
old.
Candyland, and like 90% of them are so excited.
I'm gonna stop talking.
Dave, you're
Yeah,
off.
I have no idea where this.
So
I thought you were going with spades or something.
Yeah.
That's a card game.
So the issue
I
with
can't pick a card game on board game night, but
Yeah,
it's
sorry,
nostalgic.
that's fair.
That's her.
That's fair. That's
her.
fair.
That's her.
Fair.
What?
I did play that a lot as a kid.
And you're very
A
good
lot.
looking. And you're very, very beautiful.
Thank you.
You're so pretty.
I did play Candyland
It's
a ton as a kid.
nostalgic. It is the first board game that I ever played. It is. I held on to it for years and years. It was one of the only board games that we would play as a family. So there are a lot of good memories involved.
Aw.
Yeah, look at y'all being jerks. But
I wouldn't take it now. But it was a sweet game.
no, I would take it
It was
on a
sweet.
desert island, and I would play it, and I would enjoy every minute of it because it is bright, it is rainbows, it is pretty, and you go around the slide and you avoid the mud.
That's Shoots and Ladders.
No.
No, it's Candyland.
I don't know.
Somebody
They all look
never
the
played
same. to me.
Candyland. But
No.
to put a halt to any further ridicule. What we're going to do is we're going to let you guys know what we got going on this coming week on the BSBN. So, Thursday, Sunday, and Tuesday at 8:30 p.m., 7:30 Central. Any single channel on the Blue Skirt Boys Network. You can follow them all. They are gaming. They have no idea what they're doing until 30 minutes after they start. Whatever. It happens unless somebody takes control. Then every night you're going to go at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 Central, and you're going to hang out with Nev. We're going to do Zark Nor After Dark, and Nev is absolutely amazing. He's witty. He's fun.
Super
and
funny
he's
guy.
probably got snacks. He's like always got snacks.
He's always munching.
Friday at 10 p.m., 9 p.m. Central, we've got Dinks with Kinks live. Every single night, it is absolutely fun. If you cannot catch, if you cannot catch the podcast on Twitch, you can actually look for them anywhere that you listen to podcasts, and they are available there.
They have audio
11:30. Then you're going to have Freak Out Femboy Friday with Hope on Hope's channel. Saturday, we've got Shenanigans with Miko. She does basically everything. I think she can do absolutely no wrong.
None.
So definitely check her out at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central.
His name charity stream.
Yeah, I'm getting there. John.
Right?
I'm getting there. 4:30 Eastern on Saturday, you've got D&D 4D. That is 4D. Our local Viking. That is Great Big Bear. He's doing some Dungeons and Dragons for dummies. He's really getting into like a lot of the character building and rolling and everything. Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 Central, you're going to get Waking Up with Nana and Pet on Nerd Mom Ace channel. There's a lot of trauma involved of the religious variety and
religious
others.
trauma.
So bring your trauma, bring your coffee, and they're going to work it out with you. Monday, 7:30 Eastern, you've got Auntie and Unc tell you about it. Once again, Miko can do no wrong. She is absolutely amazing. They talk about just about anything.
Yeah, Unc's pretty smart too. So.
I'm partial.
Good hands.
I'm just going to say I'm partial to Miko. I mean, come on, it's Miko. And then at 8:30 on Monday, you're going to have Dondaroing 101 on the Dondero stream.
Really
and if you stick with us, you're going to go right into a Rook's Happy Hour at 9:30 on the Nerd Mom Age channel. Wednesday, Dweebs, Weebs, and Interweebs at 9:30 Eastern Time, 8:30 Central. And then we're going to pop into Jordan. What was that?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
That was a ghost.
All right.
That was
We
the
have a ghost in the
paranormal
house.
episode last week.
Last week, we talked about that. So after Dweebs, Weebs, and Interweebs, you're going to pop into D. Wayne's post show.
Ooh, yeah.
D. Wayne, he's got a lot to talk about.
He might be.
But the most important thing that I want to let you guys know before we leave you this fine evening is that this channel, the BSBN, has put together a 12-hour stream, which means that they will be streaming for 12 straight hours live. And they're doing this for the Youth Pride Association. This is going to start on Saturday at
Go ahead.
2 o'clock Eastern. And you're going to want to turn into twitch.tv/Dondero. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Join in. They are going to be doing all sorts of
shenanigans.
I can't say the word, so we're gonna say shenanigans.
Shitnanigans.
Shitnanigans. There's gonna be waxing. I heard there's some pickle stuff.
Okay, this is getting weird.
This is getting weird, but they're raising all that wonderful money for the YPA. So definitely stay tuned. There's gonna be lots of guest stars. So for those of us here on CCTV
television.
Been a wonderful episode. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Bronner.
Thank you.
And we will see you next
And
time.
stay tuned for gaming. We're going to go right into it from here.
Yep.
So stay tuned for
the
that.
BSBN is gaming. We're going to
switch
slide
right over. Yeah. So
stay tuned.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
But thank you guys so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks now.